Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with Jay Unboxing here, giving you a couple of predictions, starting with the junior welterweight showdown between Mikey Garcia and Sandor Martin. I'll also be giving you a personal prediction for the title bout between Elwin Soto and Jonathan Gonzalez. And as always, this is just my personal take. Yours can be left down in the comments section below. Would love to hear them all. Starting with a little bit of fight info here for the main event, you do have the aforementions of Mikey Garcia taking on Sandor Martin at the Tuchansky Park in Fresno, California. This will be airing on DAZN in the junior welterweight division with no title on the line, but a kind of return for Garcia. Now, while many expected Garcia to return against Manny Pacquiao or Regis Prograis, this is the fight we have. Now, if you know a little bit about Sandor Martin, it's not the worst fight to be made. He's a solid pro that looks to press, and against the style of Garcia, that could actually produce some decent moments. However, it's certainly not that marquee fight we were prepared for and certainly weren't hoping for. Still, it's a solid enough return for Garcia, and it'll be interesting to see how he performs for the first time in well over a year. So, let's get into the breakdown here. For Garcia to win, he needs to be sure to land the 1-2 early and often. Most fighters will benefit from landing the 1-2, to be perfectly honest. However, that's particularly true with Garcia. Mikey can turn a fight around when he lands the jab to set that right hand up, and that's exactly what he does. The jab works mostly as a blinder or a rangefinder or a shot to get your head where he wants it to go, lined up nice and perfectly for him to throw his entire body into that strong hand shot, and it will work well against Martin if he gets it going well. I would also say walk Martin into that right uppercut. Another shot that Garcia can land well off of that jab is the right uppercut. That jab will eventually signal for his opponent to duck to avoid the straight right hand behind it. With Martin looking to walk in, that might mean he's coming forward while lowering his head. What a fool. This will allow for Garcia to uncork a very solid right uppercut that he can time and place to perfection. If he gets these two shots going, Martin is in for a much rougher night. And finally, I would say keep your back off the ropes. Martin has much less of a chance if he's being pushed back. Even still, you could at least limit his chances with just keeping your back off the ropes. Garcia is a relatively smaller sized junior welterweight, not that Martin is much bigger, but it does mean he's not trying to give him all the ground and momentum by backing straight up. Turn him, give him some angles, and be wary of Sandor's tricky left hook. Now, for Martin to win, don't let Garcia turn this into a boxing match. My gut tells me that a boxing match favors Garcia, and that's obviously not something Martin is looking to let happen. That doesn't mean getting reckless and throwing caution to the wind. What it does mean is not standing on the outside and looking to win a chess match. So, not demolition derby, but not a chess match. Something in between that rather large gap, to be honest. Martin needs to press and wear on Garcia while still keeping a decent guard and not exhausting himself in the process. I would also say walk Garcia into the left hook. In my opinion, the best single shot Martin possesses is that left hook. The reason for that is he has a way of throwing it that can catch his opponent when they are a bit further out and expect the shot to fall short. Against demanding Garcia, with slightly less reach, that could mean you score some solid points while Garcia adjusts to that distance. And that gives you time to win some rounds or score, or even land shots Garcia might not see coming, so to speak, that will effectively have much more impact than if he can have time to brace and prepare for them. Finally, I would say press your man into the ropes early and often. Obviously, if Garcia doesn't want to be in the ropes, you want him in the ropes. And eventually, while you want to do this with care and concern for what Garcia is throwing back, you will need to physically impose yourself on the fight and press him. Again, like with the earlier point, you don't want to rush in and abandon skill. Instead, you jab, force him back with the left hand, and then close distance. Winning a pretty fight against Garcia isn't likely. You'll need to make it at least a little bit messy. Now, for my pick here, I don't think Martin can win, to be perfectly honest. Of course, I now have said that, and he might most likely win via first-round knockout. I digress. The point is, I don't really see a lot of ways for him to do it here. My take is that Garcia shakes a bit of rust off early in the contest before getting his right hand going and dictating the action. While Martin won't be completely outclassed right from the jump, class will shine through by the latter rounds. While I can imagine Garcia winning a comfortable decision, I'll go with Mikey landing a solid right hand that stuns Martin late and forces a stoppage with the follow-up barrage. Garcia via late fight stoppage. Now, getting to that co-featured bout of the evening, we have a title fight in the junior flyweight division with WBO titles. Elwin Soto taking on Jonathan Gonzalez in a classic Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry. With Elwin Soto here, I think you have a very solid champion and a pressure fighter that likes to come forward and land some big shots. However, he's a bit more skillful than just a brawler, so he will need to be that against a southpaw opponent who's not a terrible fighter in his own right. This is a solid fight. Soto has a solid left hook, which can be quality against a southpaw and can line up that right hand, which is known to score well against lefties. Soto will do well to score with the left hook from time to time before starting off with that lead right hand that will be there for him from time to time. What Soto will need to avoid is letting Gonzalez try to box from the outside and dictate tempo. That's only going to give the Puerto Rican a better chance at stealing some rounds and a chance at setting up his own work, which of course is not going to be in the favor of Soto. Now with Jonathan Gonzalez isn't afraid to let his hands go, especially for a southpaw, but he is still a counter-puncher. Well, with Soto going, he's going to be giving him plenty chances to counter. However, Gonzalez will need to be defensive-minded and pick his spots carefully. Gonzalez has a solid straight left hand, and that can score well if he times the hooks of Soto early on and keeps it going. Also, the placement of his front foot is going to be important. If Jonathan can keep his lead foot on the outside of Soto's, it will allow him to line his shots up better, as well as provides an angle to use as an escape for Soto as he's trying to press, or rather against Soto while Soto tries to press. What Gonzalez can't afford to do is step back too often in a straight line and get his back pressed against the ropes. That's too much of an invitation for Soto to press forward, and he will, and that's when he's at his best. Yes, you want to counter, but you don't want to leave yourself open to just being completely run over. Now for my pick in this fight, I think Gonzalez is a solid fighter, but Soto is in the best form of his life, and he's likely winning this fight comfortably. Soto and Gonzalez will have some exchanges and will both do well enough in the first couple of rounds or so, but ultimately, the force that is Soto will overwhelm Gonzalez and allow Soto to have his way in the fight. In the middle frame, Soto will land the left hook right hand combination that scores so well against lefties and earn himself a stoppage victory. Soto via mid-round stoppage. Now, the betting odds for this pair of fights are pretty interesting, though pretty wide. You have Garcia in the fight versus Sandor Martin as a wide favorite at minus 200, with Martin coming in at plus 1040. Just an absolute abomination of a line if you're looking to put some money directly on a straight-up bet for Garcia. However, if you're into this kind of long shots game and just want to make the fight a little more interesting or compelling for yourself, of course, a small bet you're willing to lose on Martin will be fun. Expect to lose it, but it will make it fun, at least for a few rounds. Insofar as the Soto-Gonzalez fight is concerned, again, you have Soto at a minus 950 with Gonzalez coming in at a plus 550. To be honest, it's, again, if you like calling long shots, you have something there, but there's really not a lot of action there. It's more about the over-unders in these fights, and that really can depend on exactly the line that's set and then how many rounds you're looking to buy. In my opinion, I do predict both stoppages, so if you can find a stoppage bet, that's great. And if you could maybe in the Gonzalez-Soto fight, you find a line similar to, I don't know, maybe 7 rounds, something like that, and picking, over under from there would be pretty decent. Anything higher than 8, and I'm probably picking an under. With Garcia, I'd probably pick over a 9, maybe 10 rounds, somewhere in that frame. So just kind of depends on what odds you have going for you. In any event, prediction record heading into the weekend is 34-12-3 with 10 exact. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'd love to hear all your thoughts, predictions, your bets, so on and so forth. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow at jcaldron_JOB on Twitter. And you can email me at junboxing@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you there. Also, be sure to check out junboxing.com for scheduled results, written pieces, betting odds, all that good stuff. I also will be leaving a link in the description for a written piece on Mikey Garcia and his return this weekend down in the description below, so please be sure to check that out. And as always, until next time.